We'll continue this afternoon with Red Wings head coach Derek Lalonde. Please let us know in the chat if you'd like to ask a question. And we'll start with Helene St. James. Helene, you're on mute.
Hi, Derek. Any update on Tyler Petrucci? I didn't see him out there today.
Yeah, good question. I was told an hour before the practice that he was unavailable. Something flared up. So again, not probably anything too concerning. Probably put him in that day-to-day category. But yeah, we heard an hour before practice. So showed up to the rink today, expecting to practice, and then obviously was unavailable for. So certainly in that day-to-day category.
And just with Jakub Vrana, you know, we know he can score, but what else do you need to see from him? Like what's a good performance from him?
A complete game, play away from the puck. Even yesterday's practice, we addressed some things, point some things out to him where he could be a little bit better away from the puck. He's impressive with the puck. I certainly sometimes. You know guys are skilled guys. You have an appreciation that they're skilled, but until you're actually with them and on the ice, you don't get a true appreciation of how skilled. And man, he's got a special shot. He's got some offensive tools that are very special. I probably got more of appreciation being on the ice with him, but hopefully him being a little more accountable away from the puck. And to his credit, I thought he was better today on a whole. It's probably why you even asked the question. He stood out today in practice with some effort and some compete.
It's kind of a unique situation with him. I mean, he's been a Red Wing for 18 months, but this is his first training camp, and that really makes it important, very important for him as well.
I think so. You know, even we built from yesterday to today. So obviously, if you get the 8 exhibition games, the whole preseason will be positive. And he's certainly healthy. He has had his nose and everything. The high compete drills, the physical reps. He's been right in there. So he looked good today.
It's kind of a unique quality about him. I mean, that he can. All he needs is one shot. And what a danger a guy like that can be in a game.
Yeah, offense is tough to come by, and you need some of those offensive playmakers. You know, I came from a team and an organization where it did not take much for us to create offense, and it just helps those guys or elite finishers. You need them. That's just the reality of it. If you're going to be successful in this league, you need those type of players, and we certainly have one.
Thank you.
Ted Colfin.
Hey, Derek, you guys saw Rasmussen a few times during the second half of last season. I mean, do you think looking at the video this summer, do you think he turned a corner to a certain extent or something?
I think so. Obviously, he had some confidence from his finish last year, probably rolled over into his summer and into camp here. Obviously, it was disappointing to lose Cop for the first part of camp here. But it gave him some reps at center. Same with Volino too. So we certainly looked at that as a positive. They'll get their reps at center. They'll get some looks through the preseason, and hopefully Ras can just build off where he was at the end of last year.
Do you like him at center or wing, or just the versatility he brings is probably the end point to all that?
Yeah, I think it's a work in progress and where we're going to see him. I know some discussions over the summer. I think we would like to see him at center, just use that big body and obviously being able to defend with that size down low, get some defensive stops. But he also has had some success at wing. So again, we have a little bit more luxury of some depth this year. Some of the guys like Ras that can both play center and the wing. That'll be something we see and check throughout the entire camp.
Hey, Derek, you mentioned Volino. I mean, probably a big camp for him too, obviously, in a lot of ways. What does he need to show you just to solidify himself in that lineup or whatnot?
I think a little better in his own zone. I think as a team, we need more defensive stops. We need to spend less time in our D zone, and him getting stops like anybody else within our lineup. I think that helps. So probably being a little harder in some of those areas. I talked to him yesterday. He was very excited about his summer, and he thought he had a really productive summer, and he was really excited about getting camp started. So yeah, probably just that area of being little better away from the puck, a little harder.
The last ones, what did you think of day 2? I mean, did you like the pace today? I mean,
I did. There's some,
step upward from day 1 or what?
yeah, there's just sometimes within some of these practices, there's teaching. You saw within that first half, we were teaching introducing the neutral zone coverage. So it slowed some things down at times. You can see we try to get some of those pace drills, even second half with Tangs working on our forecheck, our OZP track, basically our gaps, playing on top. Sometimes just some teaching in those, so it slows down a little bit. It's just a reality beginning of camp. But I thought a pretty productive day for the most part.
Sounds good. Thanks for this, Derek.
Thanks, Ed.
George Malik.
Hi, Coach. It looked like there was quite a bit of actually tracking and battle drills. What did you think about the compete level of the team, especially toward the end when things really got physical?
Yeah, that's by design. I think compete is a learned behavior for some. I think it can be taught, and we're going to introduce as much as we can throughout this camp. And I think the guys expect it now. Obviously, we're finishing every practice with one of those compete type, leaning on each other type drills, and the boys embrace it so far. I want them to make sure it's an everyday type thing also.
Can you talk about the decision to sort of shake up the team Lindsay and give everybody, it looks like you're giving all the prospects at least one day on with the sort of the bigger clubs, as it were?
Yeah, that was by design, a plan we had throughout. Maybe a little pecking order in who got their opportunity off that third team, if you will, with some performances in the rookie tournament. Want to reward some guys, but yeah, we want to give everyone a look, everyone an opportunity, and we've been fortunate enough to do that for the most part of the first couple of days.
And I asked Jakub Vrana about Ben Sherratt. He seems to really bring a physical edge to the game, and he plays on an edge even in practice, which is kind of refreshing to see.
Very refreshing. He's the kind of guy that will draw everyone into the fight. That's just what he knows. That's how he became a regular, everyday NHLer. That's what he knows, and I'm sure one of many reasons why Steve wanted him part of this organization in the offseason.
Thank you, sir.
Jonathan Mills.
Hey, Derek, quick one from me. Obviously, so many new faces projected to be in the lineup this season. How important is it to have that leadership on and off the ice? And have there been any players that have stood out to you through day 2 of camp that have taken on some leadership roles here?
That's a great question, Jonathan. Obviously, Dylan, we've talked about, we have an established captain here. But I think Ben Sherratt, David Perron, they're in that first group. I just think their approach, they practice hard. They take practice very serious. I talk about Ben drawing everyone into the fight. I think David's the same way. He only knows hard reps. It's probably something he learned early in his career and grew in his career. So those two have been a real nice surprise with their approach. And I think it's really helped out the pace and the approach in camp.
Appreciate it.
Last question, Max Boltman.
Hey, Derek, what did you know about Filip Zadina as a player coming into this camp, and what have your thoughts been of him so far?
He had a really good day today. That's probably why you're asking. Maybe he got a little excited being up with Dylan, again, by design. You mentioned to Helene yesterday that we'll give different looks to different guys throughout the camp. Obviously, a heavy shot. We just, like anyone else, we want him better away from the puck. And I think he's probably in the middle of that right now. I meant it in the off season when I want to give everyone a fresh start. I've been very cautious with how much stock I put in what I watched. Again, I'm a coach. I did watch a lot of tape over the summer, but I was very cautious with it. Even on the one side where I want to give a fresh start, I don't get too excited on the other end of some positives I've seen. Obviously, watching some film back late in the season, Ras took another step in his game. Obviously, the Larkin Raymond Bertuzzi line showed very well. You know, on both ends, I want to be very cautious and have a true fresh start for everyone.
And then Raymond was a guy who maybe I didn't expect to see shine in the battle drill, but he had some really good reps down there. I mean, is that a part of his game that he can take him to the next step?
Yeah, you talk about those 2 reps with Dylan at the end of practice. I thought that was amazing, and Dylan got frustrated from it. And that's the type of compete you want to establish in practice. You want to have those just natural habits, and that practice, that drill's there for a reason. And Raymond produced very well in that, and that was very exciting to see.
Thank you.
Thanks,
guys.
everyone. We'll be back shortly.